Hi everyone, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com, back again with another ups and downs, this time for SmackDown Live. Now, a few of you may have noticed that in the past few weeks I've brought on my prospective GM, Peter Austin, and he's been just wonderful, hasn't he? But this week he's actually behind the camera. That's right, all the editors are busy helping out with WCPW later on today. So, Peter, you good to go?
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good.
All I can say is let's just hope that he's a better cameraman than he is a...
It's fine.
Oh!
Keep going.
And let's up those downs. What the First off, we start off with an up because those new belts were quite alright. The design was alright. It was certainly nothing as disastrous as the Universal Championship that was revealed at SummerSlam. But moreover, I'm giving this an up because I like what they're doing with the belts. There is a risk of belt overload, if you will, but they're doing very distinct things with each belt. You've got the new tag team belts, which has led to a tournament, and you've got the new women's belt, which will lead to a six-pack challenge at Backlash. Can't argue with the book in there, it's definitely a positive. Now we have the AJ Styles v Dolph Ziggler storyline, which carried on throughout the show, focusing on the opening couple of segments involving those guys. I thought it was really good. AJ is playing the perfect smarmy heel after his huge victory over John Cena, now referring to himself as the face that runs the place, wearing Cena's armband around his head, which I find a nice touch, and a nice reference to the fact that he is a lot smaller than John. And then you've got Ziggler, who played a sort of devastated character. He came so close, they said, to winning the belt at SummerSlam. And yeah, he played this perfectly as well. He's devastated, he's crushed, but still eager to prove himself. So I can't argue with any of that. Really strong start to the show, that's an up as well. Next up, Becky Lynch wins. Good. Finally, she's been losing so much, and it breaks my heart. She's so pretty. Anyway, and a great wrestler, a great technical wrestler. What are you laughing at, Peter?
Nothing. It's okay.
Becky wins. Good. It's an up.
Yeah.
Now we have a down because, of course, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan awarded Ziggler a chance to get back into the title scene because they said, as I mentioned, they said he came so close to winning the belt at SummerSlam. He didn't really. Ambrose won in fairly comfortable fashion. I really don't agree with this aspect of the storyline, and while I do like how it keeps Ziggler relevant, I'm gonna have to give that one a down. It's disappointing. Now we have that rarest of wrestling beasts. That's right, it's the double turn. Just like Bret and Austin back in 1997, Carmella and Nikki Bella executed a double turn which was on par, if not even a little bit better, than Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I am of course talking about the segment where Carmella attacked Nikki Bella from behind, and bloody hell, their names are similar, this is a struggle. Carmella attacked Nikki Bella from behind, and the crowd reacted accordingly, now booing Carmella and cheering Nikki. Nikki is always an enduringly popular figure because of the exposure that WWE give her, and Carmella hadn't really been enjoying the best of times since moving to the main roster. So this is a good decision. It freshens up Carmella and it gets Nikki back into that babyface position, which in a sort of unlikely sense, she thrives in. So that's an up as well. Next, we are clearly seeing the setup of a match between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. That's fine. It's a fresh feud. I don't think we've ever seen it before. It keeps Orton as strong as you can be after having your head caved in by Brock Lesnar. Do you see that, Peter?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Who was it, sorry?
Keeps Bray Wyatt relevant as well because he really needs a win. If this feud ends with an Orton victory, I'm really going to question it. But if Bray wins, then that'll get him on track to possibly challenge for the WWE Championship in the future. So that's an up as well. The ups are really hammering the downs here. Now we have Heath Slater, who has been a delight in the past few weeks, if I'm honest. He's been fantastic. He showed up on SmackDown again and was instructed to look for a tag team partner. And just because the first man that he asked was Arn Anderson, one of my favourite old school wrestlers ever. Like, one of the only things I like about WCW. Look, I'm not a big WCW fan, alright, but Arn Anderson is the boy. He's an absolute boss. That gets an up just because he was on the show. But it also gets just a general up because it's a good storyline. You know, Heath eventually found his tag partner in Rhino, and they have to win the tournament for Heath to be signed on SmackDown. So it's a good storyline, we'll see where it goes. Now it's time to look at the tournament matches themselves. You had American Alpha v Breezango, and you had the Usos v The Ascension. Now both these matches were good, the right guys went over, and yeah, generally good work in the short space of time allotted. So American Alpha and the Usos move on, can't argue with any of it. Up. Now we get to the main event, and what a match it was. AJ Styles v Dolph Ziggler. We know that they're both versus Dolph Ziggler, because I've been getting a bit of grief for saying V instead of versus, which is, I know, strange, isn't it? Anyway, AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler. We both know that both men are capable of putting on great matches, and they certainly did. It was a phenomenal main event, no pun intended. Went on for, I think, about 20 minutes, and the right man won in the end. AJ Styles won. He went and got in Dean Ambrose's face afterwards. That is the title match set up for the next pay-per-view. Now, in fact, you know what? It was so good that it's a shame to leave that down, because that was referring to the fact that Ziggler was pushed back into the title scene, but in the end he wasn't. He was taken back out of it. You know what, Peter? Knock off that down. Go on. Make a big sound effect or something. Hopefully that was good. And finally, and I wouldn't normally do this, but this was good enough to deserve a spot on Ups and Downs, even though it wasn't on the show itself. I'm talking, of course, if you've seen it, about The Miz and Daniel Bryan's sort of shoot kind of segment on Talking Smack, the post-show wrap-up, where The Miz basically said, look, Daniel, I'm not a coward for wrestling my style. You're the coward for walking away from wrestling that you love because WWE told you not to wrestle anymore. He said, look, if you want to wrestle more, go back to the indie scene and do it there. If you love it so much, why are you walking away from all the fans and being an authority figure? He also said that Daniel was an idiot for wrestling such a high-risk style. There was a lot of real sort of points in there. It was phenomenal, and you could tell that a lot of it was off the cuff as well. Miz, man, what a guy. Like, who could have thought, even about a year ago, that The Miz would still be relevant, and not only that, but justifiably relevant as well. That's certainly an up, and look, it's a clean sweep for the ups. What a time to be alive and a fan of SmackDown. So that's all we've got time for this week on Ups and Downs. The ups have whitewashed the downs. It's been a fantastic week. SmackDown looks to be on the up. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Jack_the_jobber. Peter, where can we follow you?
At that Peter Austin.
At that Peter Austin. What a guy. I'll see you soon.
Were you one of the unlucky few who couldn't get tickets for July's WCPW tapings? Well, make sure you pick up tickets for August, as they're already extremely limited. On August 24th, we'll be presenting a special live pay-per-view quality show, WCPW Stacked, featuring Moose versus Joe Coffey, the debut of the Women's Championship, Will Ospreay versus Marty Scurll. The WCPW Championship will be on the line. There'll be Joe Hendry, Joseph Connors, Big Damo, El Ligero, Primate, Grado, Drew Galloway, EC3, and GM'd by Eric Bischoff. Not just that, but on the 25th, we'll also be holding loaded tapings featuring the Kurt Angle Invitational, a pinfall and submission elimination rumble to decide who gets to face the Olympic hero in October. Grab your tickets for August at wc.pw while you still can. The 2 days are looking absolutely stacked.